Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. I am just taking a few minutes to continue to share this live on Facebook with a few friends and followers, and hope you guys get a minute to join us. And while we're doing that, we will get this going. Okay. All right, well, we just took a few minutes to do that, and we're going to get ready and get started. So, welcome, guys. Welcome to WGO, and that is what's going on with the amazing, and I do mean amazing, Swagger Magazine. I am Rissa Nip, and I am here again tonight with a brand new episode of WGO. What's going on? And I can tell you now, there's a lot going on here tonight. And I'm so glad that you're tuned in. And if you are tuned in, please like and share everything, all of our episodes, all of our shows. So take a little time and like and share if you don't mind, if you are tuned in. But anyway, just going to get started and just dive right in. But let me take the time to introduce our guest for tonight. Our guest tonight is actually, I'm excited to have her. I'm very excited to have her. And she's actually an HBCU graduate and author, relationship and marriage communication coach, and former educator. She is a creative mind. She's a creative mind behind the coaching and the mail room from TLC.
Mhm.
So, if you guys do not know her, you will get to know her today. Please welcome Coach Trinette. Welcome.
How are you? Thank you so much for having me. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. I'm so glad that you're here. So I just named just a few things that I know about you. So why don't you, if you don't mind, just dive right in and share some things that you would like to share with us, that you would like the people to know about you, to get to know you a little bit.
Well, again, thank you so much for having me tonight. And as you stated, I am a HBCU grad, not once but twice. Morris Brown College here in Atlanta, and Coppin State University in Baltimore. So I am an advocate for HBCU college life. I love HBCUs, and so I end up attending too. so. Uh, I attended Morris Brown College, pursued my lifelong dream of being an educator, and so I taught for 25 years, and decided to take a shift into something else after the pandemic. And so that it changed my plans up, because I always thought that I would officially retire from education. That was the lifelong dream. But when God has you to do something else, to pivot on your life plan, you have to
Mhm.
do it. And so I wouldn't say that abruptly ended, but it just shifted during
Shift.
pandemic. Yeah.
I like the way
And
you put that, a shift.
yeah, it was a shift. And so over the course of the time, just, became an author, and just a lover of people in life. I love giving back. So it's just a lot that has happened over time, to get me to where I am now.
Okay, great. And I love the way you say that you're just a lover of people in life. Some people, everybody don't love people like that. So
No.
yeah, I know, I know a few people that's like, I'm just not a people person.
Yeah.
Not that they hate people, they're just not a people person. And
Yeah.
it's just one of those things that everybody is just not of. But for
Yeah.
to hear you say that, that's wonderful. That's great to hear you say that. So, with that being said, let's just dive in. I have some pretty cool questions that I would love
Okay.
to ask you. And the first one is, and I know it's a little bit something that you probably wouldn't see coming at you, but I did read that you are a foodie.
Yes.
Tell us a little more about that. I know you that you must really enjoy that. And not only are you a foodie, but you have the privilege of having a chef, a husband as a chef.
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, a husband that's a chef. So, I mean, come on. Is it breakfast in bed? Is it
Listen,
is it lunch
I
together?
it, and it was so funny
Exactly.
because I'm big on visions. One of the things I love doing are vision boards and books and so forth.
Oh,
And
nice.
I remember after my divorce, I remember redoing my vision board, just going back over life. And I put on there, I want a chef. I want a personal trainer and a chef, right? That was part of my health plan.
That's
So I
really
made
cool.
a health board, and I was kind of like joking around in the sense, but I'm not the cook of the family, right? I always clean. So my sister would cook, and I would take over her chores of cleaning up. She would take over mine by cooking. I did not like cooking. So I was like, you know what? I'm just not that wife who loves cooking. Like I just, and I remember writing it down. I said, "Oh, I would love to have a personal chef and a, personal trainer to help me get back on track." Lo and behold, the Lord sent me a husband that's a chef, literally. And so that in turn, I was like, "Oh, okay." And it was so funny when we were dating. And I let him know up front. I said, "Hey, I don't cook all the time. I can cook, but I can't get down in the kitchen and all of that." And I told him two things. I said, "I don't wear heels and I don't cook." I'm like,
Straight
so if
up.
you want to, yeah, straight up, I'm like, if you want a woman who wears heels, I'm not the one. I'm sorry, I can't. I wobble, so I can't walk.
Yeah.
And so I just love, I love going out to restaurants and whatnot. But here's the kicker about having a chef as a husband: you're not going out to restaurants because guess what happens? He wants to buy everything and cook it at home.
Of course, he's cooking it. Yeah.
And so that just put a dent in my in me going out. So I'm just like, okay. But that is the kicker. But I love experiencing new restaurants and food and
Mhm.
and so forth. Just the savory, the taste of I just love food. But I know how to balance it now that I've been on a health journey. So I told people I'm like, I'm a foodie. I like different foods,
Right.
like experiencing them. So yes,
Yeah.
I am a foodie.
There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Jamel Robinson says, "Be upfront." That's right.
I had to tell people, I was like, hey, before this continues on, if you like women who wear heels and cook and all of that, I'm just not your one. I'm sorry.
Right.
Just
Right.
can't do it.
Look, and I agree with him. Let's be upfront. Let's let a person know what
Yes,
we have, what they're expecting, and if it's something that we can't deliver, then you know from the beginning. That's what it
right.
is. You know,
Exactly.
everybody have expectations, and if you can't
Yes.
meet, if it's a deal breaker, then we know from the beginning.
Exactly. Like I told you from the jump, I don't cook and I
Right.
don't wear heels.
There you go. I love it. I love it. Guys, if you're tuning in, don't forget to like and share. Like and share. Share it with somebody. And don't forget, ask some questions. If you have any questions for Coach Trinette, just ask. Just type them in the comments and I know she'll be glad to answer them for you. But moving on, right along. So many people in the world right now are pursuing, uh, I would say, like jobs or platforms or whatever, saying that they're like relationship coaches and they are marriage, they're counselors, they're doing. Everybody has so much advice for people.
Hmm.
So with
Hmm.
that being said, I would like to know what makes you stand out from others.
Oh,
why,
good
why
question.
would I say let me listen to Coach Trinette?
Good question. And that is sometimes that can become overwhelming. And I just had to be honest with myself and say, what makes me that coach for you? I have real life experience and I don't sugarcoat, and not to throw anyone under the bus or any shade or whatnot, but what I have found in a saturated industry, people tend to make up scenarios and make up, they haven't lived that road, or they don't have actionable plans in place for their clients. And one thing about me as that coach, I have that experience, and I give those relatable strategies, things that they can attain, between them and their spouse. So it's not, if I know that your husband uh is not into coaching and counseling and all of that, I'm not going to give you, things to do from that coaching aspect. I'm going to work around it. I'm going to find something that's going to attract both you and your spouse, so it won't become one-sided. So I would say for me, that makes me stand out
Okay.
from the other coaches.
Yeah, sounds really good, guys. I hope you guys are listening to this because this is some good stuff. So, can you share one of your strategies for bridging the communication gap? Because I know you said you have several ways of bridging it.
Mhm.
Not to give us all of your secrets, but can you just give us kind of an idea, or maybe share some one of your strategies that you do for bridging the communication gap?
Yeah, I love what I've been talking about lately on my Marriage Mondays and Talk It Out Tuesday, just giving practical steps on actively listening. We always talk about communication is the foundation, and you got to talk, talk, talk. But what I've seen over time, people, we can talk, we can have a conversation, but are we actually listening and comprehending? And that's the issue. And so one of my strategies, I tell couples, let's let's practice actively listening to each other. That means without the distractions. That
Mhm.
means turning off that phone, not scrolling, not watching football, or
Mhm.
learning to say, okay, wait a minute, that my spouse is watching football right now. This may not be a good time to have a conversation. Let's, find another time or something like that. Because sometimes, let's be honest, sometimes we want to have that conversation right there and then when we
Mhm.
want to have it,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
it may not be the best time. So I always like to bring that into the forefront. I'm like, listen, sometimes that particular time is not the right time. So it's okay to step back and wait, and later on in the day or the next day or whatnot, but you will have that conversation. So that's one of the strategies that I like to present to clients.
Mhm. Yes, and listening can be very hard because, like you say, a lot of people are. I'm very guilty of this. At least I used to be. I used to listen
Yeah.
to respond. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, hurry up and get it out so I can answer.
Hmm. Yes. Yes.
Like, yeah, okay. So now, I'm ready to say
Hmm.
what I want to say when someone's talking. It's like, okay, but I had to learn to
Yeah.
listen, and comprehend, and
Yes.
actually take in what is being said to me. So you
Hmm.
are
Hmm.
absolutely right about that, and that's not easy. That is
It's
not
not.
easy to do
It's
at
not.
all.
It's not easy, but I do make it. That's when I come in and say, "Hey, this is a day by day. You have to practice it." So it's not easy at
Right.
all.
It is
Yeah.
definitely not. Now
Yeah.
tell me, what I noticed you said that 7 years or longer, you can
Yeah.
tell us what to why do we think communication gets harder. So
Yeah.
can you maybe explain to us why do you think it gets harder after 7 years in a relationship?
Yeah, you know what it is? We become comfortable with each other, and
Comfort.
so we
Okay.
figured, the beginning, it was bliss, wedding bliss. We're happy, we're in love, we're excited, right? And so
Mhm.
what happens, we don't factor in life, things that are happening throughout. We don't factor those things happening during the marriage and so forth. So usually after that seventh year, that sixth or seventh year, it's like, ooh, okay. The cuteness have worn off, you're looking at each other like, oh, did he really do that? Or did she do that?
Yeah.
And it's like, yes, this has been from the start. We were just, blinded by the cuteness and the handsome and all of that. But then
Right.
we don't factor in things such as like the pandemic that happened, job losses, or just general life issues that is, that just took
Correct.
place. And so it happens after that seventh year, and now you're just like, okay, what am I supposed to do? How am I
Right.
supposed to talk to this person? Or what? You know how to talk, but those conversations can be really hard, can be
Of
very
course.
hard.
Of
Yeah,
course.
yeah,
And I love the way you said the comfort,
yes,
we've got comfortable, like the
yes,
cuteness is worn off, and
yeah,
all of the things that you probably never would have thought, like they start looking different and
yes.
moving different, and you
Yes,
know, it's like, what?
yeah, 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 most definitely. Yeah,
And like you say, I think I do believe it when you say you stay with a person long enough, you're definitely going to go through different stages and changes. So
yeah,
yes, all of that
yeah.
is
And we just don't talk about the changes. We just don't talk
right.
about the changes that occur. And so it becomes a shocker, it's like, oh, So I think once we start implementing, in the beginning, like, hey, life is going to happen and I'm going to change, you're going to change, and
Yeah,
let's see how we can navigate through this. Yeah.
exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Francesca says greetings. Hello, Fancy. How are you? Thank you for tuning in. Yes. So yeah, I totally agree with that. Now,
Yeah.
like you said before, you are an author. I am so
Yes.
excited about that. Can you tell us a little bit about your book and where we can find it at also as well?
Yes, it is. Actually, it was my first book, literally, Woman on Fire. I had
Congratulations.
no idea. I had no plans to publish or any of that. It was really about my divorce and my trial and tribulation, as going through infidelity, infertility, all of that,
Mhm.
and it came from journaling. I love journaling, and so the book actually came from the series of journals. And
Mhm.
it was like God, he literally was like, you got to release it. And I'm like, no, I don't. This is
Yeah.
I'm private. I'm not trying to tell the world what happened. I'm already going through a lot. And I just did not, I'm so sorry. I did not want to release that. And
Mhm.
so, again, you have to be obedient. And I end up releasing it. And I was like, oh, wow. So, didn't plan on marketing or any of that. So,
Oh, wow.
I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
didn't put it out there to sell or market and so forth. But when people started calling in or contacting me and saying how much it helped them, and I was like, okay. And so basically, that was like the catalyst for everything that I'm doing now. Like that book
Okay.
and releasing that, it opened that door, that
Mhm.
space, and so forth.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my first work that I released back in 2012, 2013.
Okay,
Yeah.
great, great.
Yeah.
And where can they find it again?
They can find it on my website at iamtrinetteLcollier.com.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. You guys can go on that website and find that book and purchase it. I plan
Yes.
on purchasing it. So I hope you guys are planning on purchasing it. It sounds
Yes.
wonderful. It sounds really good. So very good. We have someone that made a comment. Terry Allen says maybe the next book club read.
Ooh.
Wonderful, wonderful. I know Terry. Thank you for listening, Terry. And she does do a great book club. So yeah, that
Oh,
would be
wow.
a great book club read. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we
Yes.
to give you put you in on Zoom or call or something.
Yes. I would love it.
Great idea, Terry. Great
Yes.
idea. Yes. So tell us more about coaching. Coaching in the mail about your shows, the coaching and the mail room and your podcast, and where can we listen and watch?
Yeah, so the mail room was actually birthed after I got married, with my chef. It was again going back to that listening, listening to my spouse. Yeah, and I have to admit, at that time, I was like, well, I know how to be a wife, and
Yeah.
I know this, that, and the other. And God just downloaded in my heart, like, you're not listening. And I'm just like, okay, you know. And
Right,
my
right.
husband actually told me, he said, you don't like to listen. And so I took offense to that. I was like, I do listen. I'm just going down I do listen. I know how to, I'm a very good listener. And so, and then I started, thinking, I said, you know what? And I started talking to some of my other brothers, male friends and so forth. And everything that they kept saying, the common denominator, they were like, women don't listen to us. And I
Mhm,
said, And the second part was, we don't have a safe space to talk about what's going on. And I
mhm,
said, okay. And sure enough, I was sitting in the bed one night, and I just love ideas. I have a book full of just ideas, and never thought about a radio show or podcast or anything. I actually wanted to write a book on it, and it was just messages from him,
oh,
men, you know. And I was like, oh wow. So it was birthed through that, where it's a safe space, a platform for men to talk about what's going on in their life. And
okay,
basically, as a woman, I'm sitting back and just listening to them. And
okay,
so it's been phenomenal. It's been on hiatus this past year too, and so forth. So a reboot, hopefully later on this year. I don't have a definite date, but hopefully a reboot for later on this year, where I will be back on as a podcast. So it's been a phenomenal journey. I just met so many great men and just actually learned a lot from
mhm.
them. So
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
that's a great platform for men to do that because a lot of men do feel like they don't have a voice or they
yeah,
can't express themselves because
yeah.
we as women we get together all the time and we chatting, we
All
talking and we chatting and like you said,
yes,
we hearing each other and we talking back whatever. But some men feel unheard, just the
yeah,
same way some women saying, "I feel like I don't have a voice, I feel unheard." Believe it or not, men feel the same way. They
the
feel
same
unheard.
way. Yes,
It's actually more of them than us that
yes,
feel
it
like that.
is. Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
that's
I'm big
great.
on safe spaces, and so I gained their trust because they knew how serious I was about it. It wasn't coming on there arguing back and forth with them and so forth. But you can catch episodes, repeats of the episodes on all of the platform, made Amazon, Apple podcasts, and so forth. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And Fancy Francesca comes back and said that's a great idea, and I think she was piggybacking off of the book club read when she uh, put that in, and then she comes back and said your podcast is much needed, and I
Yes.
do agree with that, Francesca. It is much needed.
Yes.
It's a wonderful, wonderful platform.
Yeah.
The mail room. I love the name and
Yeah.
everything. Great name and
Yeah.
everything. Yes.
Thank you.
Now the other shows now they're on TLC. You
Well,
said
they are on my website as well, but you can also go to Apple Podcasts as well. So that was a
okay.
Woman on Fire podcast in the very
Uh-huh.
beginning, and
Okay.
that's where I just highlighted different women that were associated with the book that came from that. So, but that's no longer in rotation, but you can listen to old episodes on Apple Podcasts, and that's under Woman on Fire. Yeah,
Okay. All
yeah,
right. Wonderful,
yeah,
guys. See where you can find it at. You can find these podcasts. And men, if you're out there or if you can hear her, just share it with some of your other male friends and they can
yes,
go and listen to this because the mailroom sounds very exciting. Because now let me ask you this before we move on.
yeah.
Is it something that women can listen to as
Oh,
well? Or
yes.
yes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
In fact, I encourage women to listen to it,
Okay.
because it
Yeah.
is a space where you can't go back and forth with the man. Like, you're literally listening to them. And of course,
Just
I
listen.
encourage asking questions or whatnot, but it's not a podcast. It's not a space where you're going to be combative, and that was the purpose. I
Love
did
it.
not want that space for the men. I didn't want a place where there was going to be, the arguing between the sexes. That was the purpose. It is that space for the men. So yes,
Yeah.
I encourage the women to take a listen as well.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful. Now, what are some of you're so busy, you have so much that you're doing in life, the
Yeah.
podcasts, your shows,
Yeah.
you're an author, you're a relationship expert advisor,
Yeah.
you have so many hats that you wear. You're an auntie,
Yes.
you're a wonderful wife, you're a foodie. So besides the foodie and things like that, what else do you like to do for fun? How would you like to wind down? And before you answer that, Francesca says we probably learn a lot. Yes, from that
Yeah.
pot from the men's room
Yeah.
podcast. Yes, indeed, we would definitely learn a lot. I would agree
Yeah.
with you. That's why I asked. I definitely would like to be one that would listen to it. And ladies, if you're out there, I advise you to listen to it.
Yeah.
That's very powerful. That's very strong, and I can
Yeah.
just see you going very, very far with that.
Yeah.
Another comment says, definitely going to take a listen. That's
Thank
Terry.
you.
I bet you will, Terry.
And it's really great for wives, and that's the direction that I'm moving into more so with the husband and wives, because again, it all it goes hand in hand with the TLC coaching, because again, it's bridging that communication gap, because there is a gap in our relationships. We just, neither one of us want to listen to each other, but
Right, right.
we can, and so that is just another platform where it's like, okay, me and y'all can come on, come on, it's okay, it's a safe space,
It's
you
a
get
safe
to talk,
space.
we get
Yeah,
to listen. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I know that's wonderful. I'm very excited about that for you
Thank
guys.
you.
Excited to get a chance to listen to it because
Yeah.
it's hard sometimes for us to just, like you say, listen and
Yeah.
just you're not going to use the words, but shut up.
Yeah.
Just close your mouth. Close your
Yeah.
mouth.
You have to just, sometimes you have to say, listen, you know what, you're right. And then that's the other piece. Sometimes we don't want to be told that we're wrong. And it's like, you know what, you're right. Let me be quiet and just listen. So
Mhm. Yeah.
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 We as women, we can run off a little much, and I'm not downing us ladies. I'm not
Oh
downing
no. It's
because
the
I do
truth.
it. I do it myself. So
Yes.
I had to learn to be still and be quiet. Just be quiet. My grandmother used to tell me all the time, honey, just be quiet
Be
and
quiet.
sit.
Yeah. Exactly.
So funny.
Yeah.
But anyway, on to the question I asked. What are some of your favorite things to do for fun with everything that
I
you have going
I love dancing. I love dancing. And now I've gotten back into my I used to love arts and crafts, but now I'm back into crocheting and coloring. Believe it or not, I love
on?
coloring as my downtime, but I love dancing. And I'm learning to unplug more and more. So uh the more I unplug, the more I get in tune with myself back. It's like getting back in tune with a lot of the hobbies that I once had, but definitely dancing and coloring. That just, I just get to relax with that, and
Yeah.
then and it's fun for me, and I love, being with my family, my friends. I love a
Mhm.
good laugh, so I have to watch something that is going to make me laugh every
Of
day. I,
course, of
I have
course.
to. I have to.
Yeah. Laughter is good for the soul,
It
right?
is. Oh my goodness, it is. I don't think people, I tell people, I'm like, if you can't laugh, you can't sit with me. I'm sorry. We're gonna have
There
to
you
find
go. I love
something.
it. I love it.
We got to find something to laugh about,
Right,
because
right.
it
Yeah.
is, it's really good for the soul, and for me, it has kept me going. And again,
Mhm.
I just love life, and I'm just gonna find something to laugh about. If I'm laughing at myself, I'm gonna laugh.
You're gonna laugh.
I'm
Right,
gonna
right,
laugh.
right. It's such a joy to talk with someone who just loves life and love
Yeah,
people and laughter and
yeah,
just enjoy themselves and is comfortable in their own skin and wants to see others
yeah.
do well and great
I
at the same time.
do. I do. That is, I just have a heart for people, and it really, something that my parents instilled in us as entrepreneurs and whatnot. They always said that God made this world large enough for all of us to eat. So it's
Yes.
enough for everybody to go. Like, I just really want to see people prosper and thrive and so forth, So I'm just that person. I just love people, and I just,
Yeah.
I'm just very grateful, especially in the times that we're in. I'm just very grateful for
Yeah.
life. Yeah. Yeah.
Wonderful. That's great. That's great. Beautiful person. So, how has your experience been working with Swag Her magazine?
It's been awesome. It's been amazing. I got a chance to connect with you all with the mailroom while I was on the radio station, and you all have been just so supportive. And it's just, I love you guys and so forth. So when you all asked me to come on, I was so honored. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, like,
Yeah,
so I love what you all do. Just getting the message out there, the various components. It's amazing,
yeah.
amazing.
It
Yeah,
is. It is an amazing magazine.
yeah, it is.
Yeah, wonderful platform, guys. And
Yes,
continue to like and share because like Coach Trinette said, it's amazing.
it
It's what
is.
yes. So where can people find you on social media?
You can find me on all platforms. I am Trinette L. Collier, and definitely on my website at iamtrinettelcollier.com.
Wonderful,
Yeah,
wonderful. On all social media. So that's
yeah.
Facebook, Instagram, TikTok,
TikTok, all of that.
YouTube. Yeah.
Yes,
Every we can
YouTube,
find
everything.
you there. Yes.
Yes.
And again, the mailroom, is that on YouTube as well?
That's on YouTube, and that is a separate YouTube, and that's the mailroom at the mailroom 7671. That's on YouTube. You can also find episodes on my main page. I am Trinette L. Collier as well, because I do
Okay.
have the couples edition, which is an extension of the mailroom. So you can find those episodes on I am Trinette L. Collier.
Oh, wow.
Yes, yes. We just had the meals to share their story in episode 2. So check them out. Awesome couple that talks about their marriage and so forth and bridging that communication gap. So yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Wonderful, wonderful.
yeah.
Is there anything else you would like to share with us before we end? I have taken up so much of your time.
No, I am so honored again. I thank you so much. And I think I covered everything. Like, I just really, for 2025, I just really want people to understand that their marriages, in spite of what social media looks like, marriages are not dead. Marriage is not dead. Relationships are not dead. There are good Black men out there, people. Okay. There are good men out there. There are good women out there. And I just really want people to dig deeper into and get off of those toxic social media streets, that
Yeah,
does not
yeah,
speak life into relationships and so forth. So
right,
for
right.
2025, that's been one of my messages. I want to bring back remember back in the day we had each one teach one.
Yes.
I want to bring that back because again, I just feel like we can just continue to teach each other and just say, you know what, relationships are really good. They have their ups and downs, but they are good. They are
Mhm.
good, especially when you connect with that person, the right person. So my overall message is just live life and just be grateful,
Yeah,
and just really have a heart and for people and whatnot. So yeah.
yeah, yes, yes. Okay, well, thank you so much. This has been
Thank you.
yes, it's been a great show. Guys, we want to thank Coach Trinette for tuning in and joining us. And I just wanted to pop up one more thing before we go. That is the YouTube. I think I'm not sure what that was, but what that is. But anyway, I just wanted to pop it up because it popped on. But you have the social media handles where you can find her. I definitely will be following you in the future because it was
Thank
such an
you.
honor to meet you, Coach Trinette. And I look forward to listening to some of your different podcasts, especially the mailroom. That's
Right.
got me really
Yes.
excited. That's got me so excited. But guys, I want to thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for watching. And even though this has ended, you can still like and share. Go and like and share, guys. But again, thank everyone for tuning in. And this has been another episode of WGO. And that's what's going on with the amazing, and I do mean amazing, Swagger Magazine. I am Rissa New, and this has been another exciting show. And remember, guys, be good in life, and life will be good to you. The better you feel about yourself, the less you feel the need to show off, guys. So continue to enjoy your life. All right. And we'll end with thank you, Coach and Rissa. Thank you, Swagger Magazine. You guys have a great night and God bless.